What's up with y'all? Jess Sparks Star Pilot back in this motherfucking check it out. You know what I'm saying? And now with Moon and Libra, you know what I'm saying? Now with Moon and Libra, this is gonna be a space on where we are trying to conflict our way of how we communicate in a caring or friendly or your neighbor or any person that's you feel that you care for in any like way. So whatever you're doing, you want to be in a space where you're more understanding the way that an individual is proceeding during their situation. You know what I'm saying? And you want now's the time for you to be in a space where you're more um leading your leadership qualities on into the real world. You know what I'm saying? You may be in a space where you may feel like your leadership quality isn't meant to be dealt with, but you want to be in a space where you know that if you just once you just be yourself and let that shit lead, that quality lead towards the fourth front, the runner up, then it'll be in a space where you can get more situated in uncomfortable situations. You may feel like that was uncomfortable if it even was uncomfortable. You in a space where you're understanding the way that like the certain space and things happen in real life. And you'll be understanding whole types of energies in general, just by understanding the characteristics between yourself, understanding your inner self, your inner world. You know what I'm saying? Because once you understand your inner world is a whole mixture of what you created in the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? So once you understand all those, you'll be in a place where you can understand all characters, all shapes, forms you took as a spirit in general, and you'll be in a space where I gotta go somewhere, so I'll make this quick. But don't I'm gonna go back live later on. But yeah, so when you'll be in a space where you're doing something where you're trying to find certain other monetary. You don't want to find no monetary gains, but you want to be finding more individualistic, caring, like more potent, friendly ways on how you respect communicate with others no matter what's going on, because you never know what an individual is going through. So you want to be a space where you're respectful, you're helping them in whatever scenario they may be going through in that situation. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, we all gonna have something where what we're doing, we may not know how to properly lead a certain thing on. Like we may think that the whole thing we're supposed to be doing down here is to be a narc or something like that. But you want to be a space of where you're just being yourself, and when you be yourself, you're in a space of where you're more getting the right sort of energy that's maintained for you, and the right state of energy that's maintained for others. So you're helping yourself and others. So you're in a space of where you're more in the space on where you can see the observant, you be the observant role and see what you're supposed to be catering to in an unbalanced like world, and make it balance. You know what I'm saying? And when you make that thing balance, you can now walk on the what's that thing, the that it's not ladder, but it's like a ladder. It's a straight ladder. Damn, y'all know what the fuck, whatever you, what the fuck, the big ass mouth or whatever that shit was, whatever. But you know, y'all know what I'm talking about, the wiggly shit. That's when it's unbalanced, it's wiggly, but when it's balanced, y'all know what the fuck I'm talking. I can't think of it in my mind, but y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about. But yeah, when you walk on that object and it's now balanced, and when it's balanced, now you're more in the space on where like things you more pursue towards, you'll have a more balanced way in how to gain that attribute on what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Because no matter what, if you don't know how to properly maintain or fix something that you've been doing that's stubborn, and you don't know, like, and I would know for myself because I'm a Taurus, you know what I'm saying? But if I know how to mix my Scorpio, my Sagittarius, my Capricorn into the fuel, then I'll be in a space where I can actually engage on what is supposed to be happening in my real life. You know what I'm saying? And then it will be in a space where I can now be in a space where I can put in a situation that God can trust me in, where I can now lead the scenario, lead the space, lead the creativities, lead the bunch. You know what I'm saying? That's what you're supposed to. This cat is always coming. That's just what you're supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, um, that's the whole purpose of understanding the ways of how you become an individual, you know what I'm saying, simply by being yourself. And like I said, Moon and Libra, so Moon and Libra is going to be leading us to be more relatable in our communications, more associated, like more friendly, more all types of things, you know what I'm saying. And like I said, you want to be in a space where like you know where to properly understand what's happening for something, for whatever is going on. You know what I'm saying? You want to know, you want to be in a space. Hold on, let me get this cat out of here. But yeah, you want to be in a space where you're understanding the that objective of life, you know what I'm saying, no matter what you're doing. Because if you don't understand it, then you'll be in a space where like the things you're doing won't be respected in the main course, you know what I'm saying? And the main course is what you create out of it, you know what I'm saying? So you want to be in a place where when you're looking at something, the things you're looking at become the things you out of the atmosphere. And what you create out of the atmosphere, your creativity, so what you're actually sparking off in the mind to become that real objective current spaceship, starship you're flying through in existence, you know what I'm saying? And once you understand that, you understand that, you know, people have their own ways and how they think and feel about something, but humans also have their objective way on how they see shit, you know what I'm saying? You can't stop an individual on how they see shit, but if you can understand, if you can help an individual lead them to the promised land, to where they're supposed to be at, aka keeping them with, like baby feeding them on where they're at, and not letting the whole scenario on what's happening in the outside world dictate their internal world, then you'll be in a space where now you're going with the actual flow and you're letting the whole thing harmonize. So you're singing a song. Your organs are creating the vibration, the frequency, the picture, the motion picture, the picture in motion, you know what I'm saying? And once you create the picture in motion, you're now going for a way on how like the things, you're not going for a way on how the things in life dictate in reality, you know what I'm saying? And it's like when you're looking at things like that, the whole thing becomes more fun and energetic, and life becomes more simple, you know what I'm saying? And like you don't have to make it seem so hard. Like I promise you guys, no matter what y'all are actually going through, don't take it to heart and make it seem so difficult. Hold on. All right. Don't take it to heart and make it seem so difficult. You know what I'm saying? Actually make that shit look like nothing. You know what I'm saying? If you want to be like, I hope you're still alive. If you want to be like all all possibilities, God, make it seem like nothing. You know what I'm saying? And when you make it seem like nothing, you're in a space on where the whole scenario on what you're judging based upon what you create out of that confusion, you create chaos, you create order out of the chaos, confusion. Once you create the order out of the confusion, you'll be in a space where you can fuse what to any sort of thing in that space to create a better form of looking creature, you know what I'm saying? And when you're in that scenario, now you're in space somewhere the whole objective thing on what it means to be an individual is leading all towards on you. You know what I'm saying? So you become the bright light in any scenario for an individual in their life. You know what I'm saying? And that's the best space to be at all times, because when you're leading, when you're helping an individual become that little spark within themselves, letting them remind them what they already know, then you'll be in a space where you can now have your whole your whole scenario, your whole spaceship flying through any existence, calm, cool, and collected. You know what I'm saying? And when you flying calm, cool, and collected in any existence, you're now in a space on where the whole lane map becomes your map. So you know, you become you become the pilot of that ship, pilot man, pilot woman. You know what I'm saying? And when you become the pilot man, pilot woman of that ship, you're now spacing through all the existences, and you're now coming towards ways and how you can actually become that actual person that makes the things that felt impossible possible. You know what I'm saying? So you just want to have an open mind and not let these things phase you. You know what I'm saying? You let things shit like this phase you, you'll be in a space on where the whole phasing point becomes more less and less. The more phase that you let that you let unphase, like you let unphase you, you become less and less like less like not non-fuckable. You know what I'm saying? Untouchable. You know what I'm saying? Spiritual realm. You're like a super saiyan. You're like a supersonic. You're flying through all astral projection, astral worlds, astral travels, all that shit. So when you're in that scenario, you're now in the space on where the things you become, the things you're creating in that existence happen to be only just for you and your people that you bring along with you. You know what I'm saying? So when you have the individuals that you bring along with you in that scenario, now you're having something you can start off, you can spark off for a main goal. You know what I'm saying? For a bigger purpose in life. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, whatever you're doing, you gotta have something that you're doing that's grounded, but that can take off. Anything that's grounded in general and just grounded, you'll be in a space where you won't know what to do with that grounding energy. You know what I'm saying? Anything that's grounded and that can take flight, then you'll be in a space where you can always have switchable minds in general. You know what I'm saying? And once you have switchable minds in general, you're in a space on where the things you're doing become more healthier for your brain, for your mind. You know what I'm saying? And when shit that becomes healthy for your brain and mind become the whole vantage point of what you create out of um the space realm, the space world. You become the pilot of the space world, and when you become the pilot of the space world, now you're doing something for the greater cause of beyond even you. You're doing something because of shit you want to do. You care in your heart because you feel like you want to do it. This is something you really want to do. You know what I'm saying? And you don't want to let no outside world or outside feeling or outside feeling or outside thought dictate how you're supposed to be going upon something. You know what I'm saying? When you let that outside world, outside thought, outside feeling dictate and how you're supposed to go upon something, then you're letting another man's ideology or woman's ideology uh, delete whatever you went through and make it seem like it was almost like a negative thing you did. And you know deep down in your heart it wasn't even negative. It was from the care of your heart. You know what I'm saying? But when an individual makes it seem like what you did was negative or things of that nature, you're being in a space where you won't understand if what you're doing is like. But then see, when you're in that space, you're in a space where you're looking in the mirror and you're looking seeing for whatever you like, if you like yourself or not. If you got cracks in the mirror, if your mirror is kind of like blurry or things of that nature, if you're like scared to look at yourself, those are like kind of examples of you being in a space where like let's like for example, let's say you got cracks in your mirrors, right? And you're scared to, and you're not scared, but you're looking at yourself, right? You're being in a space where it's like misery loves company, so you won't know what to do to. You won't have the mind state to buy a new mirror. You'll still think, oh, this is pretty. I'm pretty. I'm pretty. You look at yourself thinking you're all pretty and gorgeous, and thinking not knowing your shit is cracked. Go get yourself a new mirror. What the fuck you doing? You know what I'm saying? If you look in your mirror, your shit is foggy. You know what I'm saying? You can still wipe it down, but you want to be a space where you know that's like don't think that you can look through the crevices and look through what you got and going on. Like you probably finished taking a shower and you look into your mirror. You know you finished taking a shower. You look in the mirror. Your shit is cloudy, foggy. Instead of you looking, why don't you take time off staring at the mirror so long and go to get your creative shit going. Then when you got your creative shit going, you have a creative mind. Go back to that creative mind with your creative mind looking at them. And I'm not talking physical. I'm talking spiritual. Go back to your creative, when you got your creative shit going on. Go back to your mind in that space and look at yourself in the mirror with that creativity on your mind, and you'll love what you see. Now let's say you're scared of what you don't want to look at the mirror because you're scared of yourself. You probably don't know yourself that well too much. You know what I'm saying? You're looking at the mirror, you're like, damn. You saw a glimpse of yourself, like, damn, I'm a scary motherfucker. You probably you probably really scare people in your real life in the physical realm, thinking like, damn, this individual like no, this individual might be like they're so far out thinking, or they're so whatever they got going on. In the negative spectrum, you're unbalanced. In the positive, you're so far out thinking. Now if you're scared to look at yourself because you're unbalanced, that's because you probably don't know how you're seeing when you're around others. You probably think that it's all sweet and laughs and giggles, but you may not understand that what you're supposed to be doing is supposed to be in an equilibrium and let people and not try to force people out the water. You're supposed to, if it's on the other side, you know what I'm saying, you'll be in a space where you're probably scared of yourself because you don't know how much of a bad motherfucker you are. You probably a bad motherfucker. You know, damn, I'm a smooth criminal. You know what I'm saying? But I gotta know how to control myself. You know what I'm saying? I gotta know how to see myself. You know what I'm saying? So once you know how to see yourself, you'll be in a spectrum of where you're understanding the whole ideology of what you're coming up with. An idea becomes you being the scariest motherfucker in the spiritual realm. You got your own. You're like in the forest in the spiritual realm. You got your own house in the spirit. You got a house in the forest. You got all types of gadgets in there. You got and you actually live there. You know what I'm saying? So sometimes you may drift, not drift off, but you may float off into that world and think to yourself like, damn, why the fuck am I here? But you remember, oh shit, this is where I'm from. This is where I live. You know what I'm saying? Not to say you a smack monkey. Don't get a fuck up. It's to say that your power is your knowledge is so foreign that when you say something down here, no one can resonate with that. Your mind is so broad out and far out. So what you're doing is you're creating certain ideas where your whole thing you're doing becomes the broad out scenario and what you're becoming as a spirit. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in the spiritual forest, when your spiritual household, you're now seeing yourself like, okay, I'm a shapeshifter, I'm an alien, I'm a ghost, I'm a goblin, I'm all those things, I'm a vampire, whatever you want. But you're not in the negative octave, you're in the higher octave where it's seen you're doing it for God, you're doing it for justice, you're doing it for because you're royalty, you're doing it because your shit matters. You know what I'm saying? Your shit don't stink. You know what I'm saying? So when you're in that spectrum, now you're in a space so where things you're more proclaiming, things you're more portraying becomes what objective scenario you make out of it. You know what I'm saying? And the objective scenario you making out of it becomes like the whole vantage point of what it means to be you being an individual. Like I said, no. Don't get lost in the sauce thinking like you're doing something on a negative end, because the things you do become like they may not make sense. You may think they don't make sense, but be open-minded and be willing to be helpful to an individual or anybody. You know what I'm saying? You never know what the individual's going through. You know what I'm saying? You may like, people may think what they're doing is the right thing to you in general, but they may be in the most negative space ever. But they may think it's the right thing to do. But you want to be in a space where you know how to transmute that and make that energy feel like enough, like and let them know like it ain't even that deep. I got you. You know what I'm saying? Like, don't even stress. You know what I'm saying? Even if the individuals be negative towards you, you're in a space where you don't let that shit affect you. You don't let that shit phase you. You know what I'm saying? Because we know let that shit phase you. Now you're in the spiritual sense of where the whole thing becomes more matter, more potent, more you got your own scholarship. You don't gotta go to college to get some scholarship. You don't gotta go to school to get some scholarship. I stay going to go to school. I'm not saying not to go to school. I'm just saying I'm just talking spiritual. So when we talk spiritual, this is how we talk around here. You know what I'm saying? So you got your own scholarship in the spiritual realm. You know what I'm saying? You got your own scholarship in the spiritual realm. You got things that you do that's so like far out thinking that you become the teacher for anyone in any scenario. You become the teacher. You become like you can rule any sort of surrounding. You can get correlated with anything around here. You don't get like nothing really phases you at that point. You know what I'm saying? And when you're at that point, like you can then become a student if you choose to. You know what I'm saying? But don't when I say choose to, it's like in a space of where when you're becoming a student, right? You're learning from your scenarios that you externalize in the external world. When you internalize something, that's you becoming a student and learning. When you externalize something, that's you become a teacher. You know what I'm saying? So it's like positive, negative, negative, positive. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand those attributes, you're understanding the whole thing of where some of an expansion comes from. You know what I'm saying? So when you understand where the expansion process comes from, you'll be in this right scenario and where something leads to when you're in the right outcome. You know what I'm saying? You'll see synchronicities play out. You see shit play out in your favor. Like you probably think, like in your mind, you probably think nothing of it, but it really happened like that. Like an individual can do something weird or some sneaky negative shit, some weird negative shit, but you're so not really you're not rooted in this world. You're so in that world where you're really from, where the shit that plays out in the physical realm doesn't really even, like, the negative doesn't really affect you. And if you think, if you even want, if you even want it to let it affect you, like, let me just dive into this motherfucking leg. It's like it still can't even affect you because you always find a better outcome out of a scenario, no matter what. Or something happens where something plays out where you didn't have to do anything, and then shit just happens. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, what the fuck? And you start to think to yourself, like, man, what the fuck? What? But I didn't even think it was that deep. So why the fuck did the individuals, like, I don't know. So it's like once you're in that scenario, I hope my phone doesn't overheat. But yeah. Once you're in that scenario, let me try to move over. Let me try to move. Let me see something. Let me see something. Let me see. Anyway, yeah. So once you're in that, you know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, you just know. So it's like the dude, shit will play out where you probably don't think it's so deep, but it's shit it is weird. Like when you're spiritual, you see shit from a scenario, weird objectives, weird ways of coming to think. You know what I'm saying? And it's like that's why it's good to have like an open mind, no matter what scenario you're going through. You like when you got an open mind throughout any scenario you're going through. Like scenarios don't even seem that bad, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And the shit that you try to make feel seem bad, or like I said, it just doesn't affect you. Shit, you just have a better idea, no matter what. So, like I said, no matter what scary situation, no matter what chaotic situation, no matter what fucked up situation, no matter, like, I know people die, shit happens, like people get hurt, like things happen, like people lose their jobs, all that shit. But when you don't let these things affect you, and you always find a better thing to overstand an outcome, something, a scenario, what is supposed to be happening, the whole thing just doesn't. Shit just doesn't affect you. It's hard to explain, but when you understand it, you understand it. You know what I'm saying? So that's why it's good to understand these things, no matter what. Because when you understand these things, no matter what, you're in a scenario where you're overstanding, and you're looking at the scenario from a planetary concept. So now you understand what the planets are doing, and planets aren't no real thing, but when you understand the planets are what you create from the internal realm, the planets become like something you can mesmerize about, and then you can play out the actual planets yourself. Like we got people in the real world in the shadows playing out planetary transitions within themselves. They're playing out actual planets and thinking they're doing something. So what makes you think you can't do the same thing? You know what I'm saying? So it's just about you knowing how to, what the fuck you're made up out of, and knowing what the fuck you're supposed to be into. You know what I'm saying? When you know what you're supposed to be into, what you're made up out of, then you're now in a scenario where what you're creating in the real world becomes less and less like crazy. Like it's weird. Like shit just happens. The shit is just more beneficial in your favor, no matter what. You know what I'm saying? And you're not gonna have, and trust me, you're not gonna have all the brightest days thinking, oh, this is that. But you'll have most percentage times you'll have days on where shit is just, damn, this shit is just almost too good to be true. Oh shit, what the fuck? Oh hell no, get the fuck out. Yeah, get your ass out of there. But yeah, and you'll tell yourself, damn, this shit is almost too good to be true. You know what I'm saying? But that's why the true is what you is all about you. Because true, you can't spell true without you. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand the true can't be without you, then you're in a space of where the you becomes the potent shit. The potent shit becomes the you, and concept in general. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand the you concept in general, it's always leads you back to yourself. So it's all on you, but without you wouldn't be true without you. And if you don't understand you yourself being the truth, then you won't understand nothing in life, because you would think to yourself like you'll scroll uh, uh, um in the world, just stroll along the road, la 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 la. You won't understand like, damn, this shit is really serious. Like it's really all about me. And let me take a and then once you know it's all about you, you can make it about all about somebody else and all about the next person, the next person, the next person. It's like y'all doing something together. Y'all have some shit where you have some sort of potency within yourself and others. You know what I'm saying? And it's like you're helping the world, you cleaning the world out of the trash, the mentalities, the mind states, all that shit. That's trash when it comes to, because you think they spraying chemtrails in the sky is to trash. No, that's to stop what they've already done already. You know what I'm saying? Chemtrails is to help us breathe better, and actually, because what they've already put out in the world, like all this trash, all this exhaust, all this fumes, all this smoke, all this gas. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna spray chemtrails to clean, to help better all that nonsense. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, that's why we have certain things. Like, don't think everything is negative in general. You know what I'm saying? Look at shit from the right perspective, no matter what. And when you're looking at shit from the right perspective, no matter what, now you're seeing shit from the space on where we all supposed to be at as spirits, and we're all looking at a main objective, and you're non-biased in that space. We're all free to be angels. We're all free to help each other become angels in that space. Because when you're helping individuals become angels, you may not know, but this is what we're all supposed to be doing. You know what I'm saying? So just understand that, and then when you understand that, you're in a space on where the whole, like, it's motherfucking, but it's not even deep. um I want to put the AC on because I'm all right. Anyway, yeah. So you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying. Like I said, know your astrology, know your astronomy. Don't forget the astronomy. You know what I'm saying? Because your astronomy, you can't know astrology without astronomy. You can't know astronomy without astrology. So understand, the astronomy is just you going outside for yourself. If you go outside for yourself, you understand the world from what you're looking at, from the objective scenario. When you're on the subjective, you're looking at the astrology. But all these things all these things are things you can utilize. You know what I'm saying? So when you know how to utilize all these things from a scenario on where they're supposed to be seen, then you're in a space on where the whole space on what something is leading towards will help you in the long run from what you're supposed to be doing, and lead you to the space on where, if you know how to properly look at these things, if you know how to properly see these things, if you know how to properly uh, 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 visualize these things, then you'll be in a scenario where the whole shit becomes like the whole impact of ratio, what you put into it. So things you put in is what you get out. The things you put out is what you get in. You know what I'm saying? So everything's in reverse, but once you know how to look at it, things actually play out in your favor when you know how to see it from this in the space on where the energy is created from somewhere. It's coming from somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, energy is not no M equals squared, or whatever they say energy is. I don't know. Energy is your mind. You create thoughts and feelings. When you create thoughts and feelings, that comes together, has sex with each other, creates that son or daughter, but it creates two of the same, and that's energy. But that whole thing, your thought, your feeling, your mind state, all that shit, your mind, and I'm pointing here, but from your head to your feet, all these are organs. You know, are minds and organs, and these are two of the same. And that's when you, all that shit is energy. When you put out shit out there, that's energy. When you think, that's energy. When you're feeling, that's energy. You know what I'm saying? when you're doing all these things, that's energy. So don't get it fucked up thinking energy is just something on its own where you gotta write it down on paper and then that's the energy, and then you put a electric spark up to electric spark and you that's energy. What the fuck? That's not energy. You know what I'm saying? Now, whoever created that, it took them energy to create that. Why do you think we say energy when we do shit? Like, it's damn, it took mad energy to put that couch together. It took your mind was going through all types of obstacles, all types of shit to happen. That's energy. You know what I'm saying? So, and when it takes you to come up with those conclusions and those scenarios, then you're understanding, okay, shit, this is real good. This is what energy is. The things like this. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let me go with the program. You know what I'm saying? So it's not for me to get lost in the sauce, and it's for me to understand it. You know what I'm saying? And when you understand it, you're understanding where something leads to, where something is gaining toward. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's why it's good to understand the whole space on where something is coming from. You know what I'm saying? When you understand where something is coming from, you understand where you're supposed to be. You know, but all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about you. Don't get it fucked up, and you are the motherfucking star, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. And Jess Sparks, Star Pilot, we out this motherfucker.